Hello, my friends. Hold on to your socks because you are about to lose them. You see that? That is a membrane. Exactly like this, only this is the lower layer of the membrane. You see that little squiggly thing? That's one of those. You see these holes? Those are the protein channels. Well, let's see where that came from. Okay, I just showed you that membrane. Now I'm going to show you the membrane that my good friend Tyson Carlson found. And this is not Tyson, this is a goose. Now, you see the feathers? You see the feather pattern on a goose's head? Nobody understood these things turn into stone. There's the goose neck. If you know, you have to look in a microscope to see all the little details, but you can see the throat and all that stuff. And there's blood in these things. And this is what they call feldspar, only all it is the fabric of life. And it is on all of these different mud fossils, such as this bone, which is, once they were in the Great Flood. And this is what happened, these were gigantic creatures. Right there is, as I showed you before, the membrane. Tyson went out and he is doing absolutely fabulous work out here in Oregon. This is the lower layer and that's the upper layer. It's 6 feet apart. Let's just watch this and listen to what he has to say. All right, you see these balls here? They're all over in between, just below the membrane layer. And what they call that now is interstition. And what it does is it keeps all the stuff come back to where the balls are anchored after you gush around and move and so forth. And this is basically a new, it's a fabric-y thing with all these balls. Watch as he goes along.
Must be interstitial balls are set in here, what do you call them?
Now, there is, that's the thickness of the membrane. And that's only one layer. The upper layer is way up there. In between is what they call that, it's a fatty lipid fabric looking thing. Look at way up there is the top of this single membrane. And below is some form of a flesh that's eroded away. There's the top of the membrane, the lower of the membrane. So there's some form of flesh above, there was some form of flesh below. And that is right there is interstition.
Okay.
There it is. There's a perfect shot. Interstition, some form of a fleshy thing. It's all eroding away. There's the lower layer of membrane. There's the top layer. I think it's at least 6 feet above. And then above that is some form of fleshy tissue as well. That's what a membrane does. It separates one type of tissue from another.
We got more biological here. Look how this just wraps around and curves.
What? Look at this.
And
look at this. Look at this. And that's the top layer. That's Scott. Here's what happened. Scott Wiles saw some of my work on mud fossils, and he happened to send me a shot of a transition. I said, holy smokes, that thing's got to be gigantic. And it was hard to understand what it was, but it was, anyway, I looked into it. I said, that's absolutely amazing. And then somehow I got in with Tyson, saw this, and he was right there on the coast, and he started to go with Scott. And they went out, and here they are together as in the early days. Now, Scott travels around the country more, so he's Tyson's more or less on his own out here lately.
it comes into this. This is so cool.
It is. It's amazing. Look at this. Look at that. They have.
And then into this.
They have fire pits out here.
Oh yeah. Geologic. Isn't this cool? Oh, this is just lava.
Somebody's telling me, oh yeah, that's lava. It's not lava, it's a membrane.
No, this ain't lava. This ain't even the same material as lava. This is more sandstone-y. Look at the holes. There's something sitting in there.
Look at this, absolutely phenomenal. Now, wait till I show you some more membranes. They're all over out there, and the Earth literally is made of creatures, or is a creature. And I think it is alive, or it was alive until we started fracking and all that stuff. All right, I didn't make this picture, and I didn't make this picture. Tyson is out in Oregon. He took this video of the bilipid layer, and it is exactly that layer. See these little tiny holes? Look at this. You see these little blocks, which are the bilipid. There's a hydrophilic and hydrophobic sort of block in here, and then they have these little tiny holes in them, and then the protein channels and all that. Well, watch this. You see that? That's exactly that membrane. They had the bilipid, one on each side. You had these little bars in the middle, which are the little hydrophilic and hydrophobic tails. You got the little holes in it. Absolutely identical. Now, what is going on with this? Why is this so gigantic, and what is it separating? I don't know exactly. Tyson needs to get a drone. I would love to see Tyson just basically take over. I'm too old to do any more of this stuff. And I don't have this on my, well, I might have it on the coast. I don't know. I have it right in my backyard, I can tell you that. Not this size. This is just absolutely spectacular. So somebody should fund him. Somebody should get him a drone. I mean, this is expensive stuff to do. He's putting a lot of time into this. Nobody's giving him anything for it. And he's looking to try to figure out what eternity is all about. And that's what I'm about too right now. It originally was just kind of fun. Wow, look at this. Wow. It led to a lot more than just, wow, look at this. It's like, wow, eternity was already written about and we just laughed. Well, no more. Okay, so here is the membrane. Now this is a little one. This is only, I don't know, maybe a foot or two across. This is the black blood, and this is a different molecular chemistry. Now, I don't know what it's separating, but this is the bilipid layer, and that's the stuff in the center. Now, I'm just going to let this run, and he's going to be walking along showing how gigantic this thing is. But my point being is it's time to start looking at what we really have in front of us instead of hiding and avoiding our true history and the reality of what we have. This was all written about. The first book that was ever written was Hesiod, and he talked about Gaia and the earth being created from giants. And Ovid wrote Metamorphoses, as he said, and that was the most important book ever written, they say, other than the Bible. And it said that the earth was created by gods and giant, and they used creatures as landscape. That's exactly what it says. So if you read Ovid Metamorphosis, it starts right out. It says, I intend to talk about bodies transformed into, or transconfigured into landscape. Basically, it's exactly what it says. And here it is right here. So, and you can see the difference in this biology and that biology. And this is exactly what this is. There is nothing but biology. All right, so get a hold of me here. This is the best way, but I'd really appreciate it if it was only somebody that really wanted to do something documentary or take over as a school, or help fund Tyson and so forth. I don't need anything myself. I just do videos, but Tyson needs a good drone. He probably needs all kind of resources. Everything he's doing is doing on his own. And I know he's not a rich guy, and I am not either. But I get by. I'm doing fine. I'm not complaining, and he never does either. But it certainly wouldn't help. I wouldn't hurt to help. All right. I love you guys. God bless you all. And we're going to go look at this into the whole overview of what it means to our history, because it talks, as far as I'm concerned right now, all of the things that were written, the Hesiod talked about theogony and all of that stuff originally about Gaia and Zeus and Kronos and Hera and all of that stuff, Typhon, all the serpents, the dragons, all of that stuff is real. It was real. And I'm going to tell you another thing. I'm going to leave it at this. We're going to review the KT extinction event. All right, and we're going to be looking at meteor crater and all these other things that they claim created this, and what iridium really is, and where iridium really comes from. And once again, hold on tightly to your socks.